I'm William Haas, and let's clear up the USA view. Trump administration halts World AIDS Day recognition during outrage. A move that further erases marginalized communities, the Trump administration ordered federal agencies not to observe World AIDS Day, ending a tradition upheld for every president since 1988. World AIDS Day has long been recognized worldwide for both Republican and Democratic administrations. Marking the occasion, last year, President Joe Biden hosted the first White House display of panels from the AIDS Memorial Quilt. Even during Donald Trump's first term, the day was acknowledged, though without mention of the LGBTQ plus people. But according to an internal email reviewed by the New York Times and first reported by Substack columnist Emily Bass, State Department employees and grantees were instructed to, quote, refrain from publicly promoting World AIDS Day through any communication channels, end quote. The email claimed it reflects broader policies to, quote, refrain from messaging any commemorative days, including World AIDS Day, end quote. A follow-up email from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention reportedly repeated the restrictions but omitted language allowing staff to still discuss HIV work. State Department spokesman Tommy Pigott defended the policy saying, quote, an awareness day is not a strategy, end quote. However, the backlash was swift. Bass called the silence shameful, adding, silence equals death. Activist Peter Staley said the move was just a petty and hostile, comparing it to the Reagan era. I mean, I don't really get too passionate about politics, but this fucking sucks. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sorry.
There's no better words than what you just said to explain it too.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. President, look what Ronald Reagan did. You know, for the 7 years that he avoided AIDS and didn't talk about HIV, 47,000 Americans died. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to blow this day off and think we don't exist? And I mean, this affected more than the LGBT community. This affected a lot of people, and you know, brothers and sisters and wives and husbands and children. And you just want to let this day go by without a recognition or time of silence. It's shameful. You should be very ashamed of yourself. I'm sorry.
I agree with you, William, 100%. You know, this one hits deep. You know, imagine being so petty you cancel World AIDS Day. Mm-hmm. You know, a day rooted in grief, literally, right? Activism and literally saving lives. And then he says Awareness Day is not a strategy. Is the kind of thing that people say right before they stop funding actual strategies. You know what I mean? Like, silence has never helped our community. In fact, it has killed us before, and we're not going back to that time. We were talking about that before the show. Not on our watch, not in 2025, and not ever effing again.
No. The bottomless pit of ignorance and hatred perpetrated by this Heritage Foundation-run administration never ceases to shock. And you'd think that the orange malignancy would be more sensitive to the topic since his best girlfriend, the psychopath Roy Cohn, died from AIDS complications in 1986. That was his best bitch. And he died, but doesn't care about anything but himself.
It's a shame. There's no other queer news nonprofit media platform in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.